Dear students of class 10, today I am going to teach on the following points. I am going to explain about the educational career, the political career of the three distinguished aggressive leaders of the assertive group. Who are they? They are number 1, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, number 2, Bipin Chandra Pal, and number 3, Lala Lajpat Rai, the great trio of the assertive group. Now I am going to teach about them. Now, educational career of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, after having completed his graduation from his native place, came to Pune for his higher study and obtained his law degree. But far from taking law occupation, he joined Indian national movement for the call of our motherland to make the country free from British rule. He then established a number of schools, colleges, and contributed his life for the noble cause of India's freedom movement. He published 2 famous newspapers, Maratha and Kesari. In these 2 famous newspapers, he wrote articles criticizing the repressive policies of the British. And for doing it, he was imprisoned for several times. But he didn't care for it. He kept on criticizing the oppressive, repressive policies of the British government. He encouraged the youth of Maharashtra by celebrating the famous Ganesh festival. Besides, he started the famous Swadeshi and boycott movement from our Bengal. Why? Because Lord Curzon implemented the partition plan in the year 1905. But the early nationalists, they could not manage the British. It was due to the effort of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Congress was divided into 2 groups. That time officially it was not divided, but already 2 groups were formed. One group was very much, loyal to the British, and another one was very much aggressive. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he led that group, started Swadeshi and boycott movement, encouraged India's indigenous industry, encouraged the people of India to boycott not only, British goods, but also British schools, colleges, universities, British jobs, and of course, British titles which were given to the rich people, distinguished citizens of India. Bal Gangadhar Tilak also wrote, he was not only a political leader but also a prolific writer and philosopher. He wrote the 2 famous books, Gita Rahasya and the Arctic Home of the Vedas. He was the first Indian to raise the demand of Swaraj or complete independence. He raised that great slogan, the historic slogan, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Come to this about the teaching of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Now, I am going to teach about Bipin Chandrapal. Who was Bipin Chandrapal? Bipin Chandrapal graduated from the famous College of Calcutta. Famous College of Calcutta, that time Calcutta, now it is Kolkata. Presidency College. And then he was influenced by the ideals of, he was influenced by the ideals of Brahmo Samaj and became its active member. On behalf of Brahmo Samaj, he was sent to two continents, Europe and America. And by traveling the two continents, Europe and America, Bipin Chandrapal gained bitter experience from there. On reaching India, he became the member of, he joined the Indian National Congress, and afterwards he became its active criticizer of the British. The time when he joined Indian National Congress, that time he was in the early nationalist group. But the time during when the Surat session of the Congress was held in the year 1907, and Bal Gangadhar Tilak proposed the name of Lala Lajpat Rai to be the president of the Surat session of the Congress. The early nationalists did not recognize it. The name, whatever they proposed, Dr. Ras Bihari Ghosh, he became the president of the Surat session of the Congress. But Lala Lajpat Rai himself denied to be the president of the Surat session of the Congress because he did not want to make any split between the two wings of the Congress. The aggressive attitude of Bal Gangadhar Tilak attracted Bipin Chandrapal, and hence he joined the assertive group. He, during his last part of political life, he criticized Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement. Why? Because Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement, he thought could never bring success. That's why he criticized it, but became totally out of Indian politics during the last phase of his political life. Now I am going to explain about Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai was known as Punjab Kesari. He belonged to Punjab. He completed his graduation in law and became a lawyer of Lahore Court. He not only became a lawyer of Lahore Court, but obtained the designation as a famous lawyer of the Lahore Court, a lawyer of repute. And afterwards, he realized it that the occupation law could not bring the prosperity of our country, could not make the country free from British rule. That's why he joined Indian National Congress and afterwards he went to America, met Lala Hardwal, encouraged Lala Hardwal to cooperate with the Indian revolutionaries because Lala Hardwal established Gadar Party in America. What was the aim of the Gadar Party of America? The aim of the Gadar Party was to encourage Indian revolutionaries by supplying guns, revolvers and other weapons so that they must start an armed revolution, an armed rebellion in India. He knew it. That's why Lala Lajpat Rai personally met Lala Hardwal, and hence Lala Hardwal agreed to supply weapons for the Indian revolutionaries. Lala Lajpat Rai came back to India, and then he played an active role in Indian politics against the British rule. The time when the Simon Commission came to India in the year 1928, all the Indians greeted the Simon Commission with black flags by raising the slogan, Simon go back, Simon go back. Now why was that slogan? Because in the Simon Commission, not a single Indian member was included. In the Simon Commission, all the members belonged to all the members who were included. They all were from England. Not a single member from our country, India, was included there. So in protest against it, or in protest against that system of discrimination, Lala Lajpat Rai, while organizing one meeting, one agitation against the British, or while conducting a meeting at Lahore railway platform, was suddenly beaten by British police and was fatally injured. Immediately he was sent to hospital. But while living his last breath, he said, my death would become the last nail to the coffin of the British Empire. So what he quoted proved to be correct. India became a free country, and the Britishers were forced to shift the country, shift from this country. The Britishers were forced to left our country, forced to leave our country forever. Thank you, my dear students.